Alright, so here we are again. Back on the road. In case you ever wonder why I do all these while I'm always talking inside of my truck, it's because I'm always on my way to work. That's the only time I really have free to speak and do these videos. Alright, we've established through the videos now that the bad guy is out there. We've set lines of defense. I've showed you how my house stays protected. Lines of defense, things you can challenge the bad guy. When the bad guy is on the prowl, and believe me, they are on the prowl, they're prowling through neighborhoods. They're looking for easy targets, from the carport shoppers to the child molesters to the criminally minded, those that are career criminals. That's all they know is to steal, to rob, to destroy. That's all they've ever known. So that's all they have going for them. So here we go. All right. Today I'm going to talk to you about having a safe house for your kids. The kids, if you have a lot of latchkey kids and teenagers, ones that go out on dates, here's the thing about your house and your family. You can't see a demon behind every face, every new face that comes into your life. What you have to do is create a zone of comfort, a zone of safety around your own life. Within your own life, within your own world, you have a zone of safety. That is a zone of people, a number of people that you're close to, your family, your friends that you've known for years, numbers of years, new acquaintances. These are the people that I consider the circle of influence. Now, in this circle of influence, you have those that you can really trust: husbands, spouses, moms, dads, and then you have those that you're just making new acquaintances, probably perhaps boyfriends, girlfriends of your kids, new friends, new faces, young adolescents. You have new friends and faces that you meet through work, and you just meet new people. Now, I'm not saying that you see a demon behind every face, that you're paranoid and you're going to have to run a background check on every one that you meet. You're going to have to Angie's list everyone that crosses your doorstep. But you have to have a heads up. Not everybody that comes into your life is your friend. A lot of people have evil intentions. A lot of people have those intentions hidden so well that you cannot even begin to think that these guys will be the ones that will strike out and do something in your life or in your kid's life. You gotta hold on. Sorry about that. Important phone call from my lovely wife of 24 years. See, in my world, the world that I move in and move through, I'm always on guard for new faces that want to assist me, want to be my buddy. This is a time in our land when you really have to check the path that you're on. You really have to set the course and be in control of the course that you're traveling. You have to travel a well-lighted path. By that I mean you have to have insight and heads up about who are the potential predators in your life. I don't want to just say predator, some people that you know are preying on you. You may not realize this, but some people that you know are preying on you. They're waiting for a window of opportunity. They're waiting for a point of entry to open up so they can come into your life, maybe not your house, but into your life and take from you or hurt you. These are the people that you need to really, really have a heads up. Really, if you remember I told you about that gut feeling, if something just don't measure up. Now here's the thing about my kids. I have a 16-year-old daughter, beautiful child. The sun rises because of my child. But I meet every one of the boys that comes into her life, that she brings home, or they come over to sit, because there's a lot of requirements on my daughter, on my kid, before you can just load her up and take her off on a date. I meet these guys. I do. My wife used to say I interrogate them, but what I do is I let my presence be known that, hey, while my child is on your watch, you are responsible for her. Something happens to her, she gets drunk, she gets fed alcohol, something happens to her, she gets hurt. I will not understand. Any explanation will not be given that is going to satisfy me. I am a brute beast inside of me. I deal with violence with force. I meet violence with force. Again, this is not about civil rights. This is not about downplaying anything that Dr. Martin Luther King has ever stood for. I love Dr. Martin Luther King and the role that he played in the time that he played it. But this is a different generation. This is a world that we're living in, a nation that we're moving in, that is losing its mind. Let me tell you, over the next 6 months, what's going to happen. Unemployment is going to play out, which is going to only increase the stress and the tension level in a lot of people's lives, because they won't have that extra $1,000 a month, which is floating them, keeping their head just above water right now. Two-income families will suddenly become no-income families. Guys who have never committed a crime in their life will suddenly become like a bumbling Keystone Cop criminal. They'll see that these career crooks are able to walk in and rob a store and get $10,000, $12,000 out of a bank or whatever it is, and it'll it'll put a light bulb on in their head, and they'll say, well, if those guys can do it, I can do it. So they'll go get a gun, they'll go and attempt, and they'll end up getting shot. It's going to be a brutal time in America. Because the bottom line is these guys have pride, they have degrees, they went to college, they paid the dues, they paid the price to make this money, and now the companies that they were making the money with and doing so good have downsized or altogether shut down, filed bankruptcy, been caught in scandal or whatever, and now that company is shut down. So these guys are desperate, and desperate people are going to do desperate things. Things that people thought they would never do before, they're going to end up doing because they want to save face. They're proud, they want to save face, and they're worried about their children in the future. So they're going to do desperate things. Here's the deal with that zone of defense, that zone of safety and comfort that you move and operate in. You've got to surround yourself with people that you've known and you've been acquaintances with for years. You've got to form almost like a neighborhood watch. I don't mean the neighborhood watch where you got robbed and the whole neighborhood watched. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people. Get to know your neighbors. Get to know, you know that old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a subdivision to provide some type of comfort and protection against the daytime bandits, the guys that ride through subdivisions looking for easy targets, air conditions that don't have guards on them, open carports that have eye candy like lawnmowers and stainless steel grills that you got to pay $800 for at Home Depot. Things like that, weed eaters and lawnmowers. I'm talking about just the practical day-to-day practice. These guys are on the prowl. Now, these are the small petty thieves. The small petty thieves can clip you for $1,000 just as easily as a major thief can come into your house and clip you for everything you've got. If you're running to Starbucks in the morning before the morning jog, or you've gone to work and the missus is jetting the kids off to school, she's only going to be gone from the house. It's a 20-minute ride to school. She stops at Starbucks and gets her latte. That's another 20 minutes. So 40 minutes time to get back to the house. Let me tell you, some of these good thieves can drop a 2 to 3 day surveillance on the missus and realize that she does the same thing every day, Monday through Friday. We're creatures of repetition. Monday through Friday, you go off to work at 7 o'clock, 7:30, she loads the children up, and she flies off to school. 40 minutes later, she's back home. Well, in that 40 minutes time, if they're not careful, and you have a system, but you're not arming it because, Lord knows, Mrs. is only going to be gone 40 minutes. What can happen in 40 minutes? Let me tell you what can happen in 40 minutes. The bad guys that have been watching your house can back a big truck up into your garage, which is left wide open because Mrs. is coming right back. Back it up in there. The neighbors aren't paying much attention, if any. They walk out, they kick the door in, they go right to they know exactly where to look. They know the shoes to look into. They know all the hiding spots because they're experts. They do this for a living. They know where to look. They find all the jewelry. They find all the deeds. They find all the stuff that they need to find, all the secret hidden places that you thought were hidden so well, maybe even a safe stuck behind in the closet somewhere, not even bolted down, just sitting there. That's carded off, and on and on and on. So they get everything of value within about 20 minutes time. From the time they back that truck up, they're gone. Wife comes back 20 minutes later. Now, just driving the speed limit at 40 miles an hour in city traffic, they're already 6 miles away from the scene of the crime, 8 miles away from the scene of the crime. And the first thing a bad guy is going to do is get off city streets and get onto an interstate where he can put some miles up underneath him. The bottom line is not so much getting into a house, but the getaway. You got to get in, get away, and get it done and get away. It's the getaway that's so exciting to these criminals. Once they loaded up your stuff, they're gone, poof. So once they're gone, once they have taken the loot and they're gone, 8 miles away, by the time she calls the cops, 6 minutes later, the cavalry arrives because it's a busy morning, school day and all that. Cops are out there doing their gig. So by the time they get there, man, the buddies already crossed two county lines. They have in Georgia, as is true in most states, they don't do county involvement unless they're in a high-speed pursuit and they're alerting the next county they're about to cross lines. They don't say, hey, APB, be on the lookout for a blue Ford pickup truck with 2 white males in it who just burgled a house over here in Shady Dale subdivision. That doesn't go out. That never goes out.